Some situations wake up the sense in us. Some discomfort in life can be a turning point. Being broke is one of these. Being broke is not a permanent condition, it's a season. And if you're willing to face it head on, you can change your story. I know what it's like to be broke, but that is some low in cash kind of broke. And it has turned out to be a big blessing for me, trust me. I've also heard of stories of people being broke, and this is not just like broke, and it's not just the usual, oh, they are low on cash until the next paycheck. It is something deeper, that sinking feeling of not knowing where the next meal is going to come from, or dodging calls from creditors and constantly feeling, behind while everyone else seems to be moving ahead in life. This is a tough situation, scary and totally isolating, but their stories turned around with big lessons learned. I am going to share with you in this video why broke can be a blessing and how you can turn your broke around. So stay with me. Okay, so most people fear being broke. It's uncomfortable, it's stressful, and honestly, it can feel humiliating sometimes. Some of the most valuable lessons that I have learned in life, however, came from seasons of being broke. And I want to share these lessons with you today. The first one, resilience. Being broke taught me resilience. When you're broke, life doesn't give you much of a safety net. You don't have a lot of choice. You have to figure things out, make sacrifices, and push through challenges. It is in those moments that you discover just how strong you really are. The resilience you build during tough times then becomes one of your greatest assets when you finally start to rebuild your life. I think the second thing being broke taught me is financial discipline. When money is tight, you're forced to be intentional about every dollar, every pound, every naira you spend. You quickly realize the difference between needs and wants. And while it's not fun to be broke, trust me, that financial discipline that you develop becomes invaluable as you start to make more money. And let me tell you this, if you can manage a little, you can manage a lot. Trust me, you can manage a lot. If you can get by with not so much, you can manage it when you have a lot. You wouldn't lose it. And also being broke sort of forced me to always re-evaluate my priorities. I am often asking myself, what truly matters? Where am I spending my time, spending my energy, and spending my money? Am I chasing the right things? And this helps me to clarify my purpose, my goals, the kind of life I want to build for myself. And it's a wake-up call, trust me. It's a wake-up call to realign ourselves with what truly matters. I think the next thing being broke helped me with is it sort of inspired my growth. And this for me is the biggest blessing, of being broke. Your brain starts to work like it's 3000 kVA, like my friend was saying. Being broke lights a fire in you. It forces you to grow. It forces you to think differently, to take bold decisions. And for many, it's always the starting point of an incredible transformation, a chance to rewrite your story, to build a life that, you've never imagined possible. And this is why most inspiring work stories starts from a position of lack. So, how do you start to create that change from broke to breakthrough? The first thing you have to do is to face the reality of the situation. Don't run away from it. It is tempting to ignore the bills that are probably piling up, or to pretend like everything is fine, and then you keep borrowing to survive, or denial won't solve the problem. You have to sit down, you have to write out every single debt. If you owe, someone or company or bank, you should write it down. You should take a hard look at your finances. How much am I earning? How much am I spending? Write all this out. It will be a painful process, trust me, but the moment you do this, you start thinking about, how did I get here? And then the next question will be, how do I get out? How do I get out of this situation? The second thing you have to do is you have to shift your mindset. being broke can make you feel powerless, but you have to realize that situation or that current situation or this current situation doesn't define your potential. Ask yourself, what can I control right now? Maybe you cannot pay off every debt. It's possible. You cannot pay it all at once, but you can start small. And progress, like I always say, no matter how slow, is still progress. So don't accept that there is nothing you can do. You have to first shift your mindset, redefine your mindset, and tell yourself, I can get out of this. I can do something about it, and I can create the change. The third point I will make is that you have to learn how to make money work for you. When you're broke, you think money is just about earning more, but it's about managing what you have and making it grow. I learned earlier that getting off the broke zone is about budgeting, planning where my money goes even before receiving it, and I talked about this in a video I made on my payday routine. I will link it up here. It is also about cutting unnecessary expenses and looking for ways to increase your income, whether this is side hustle, upscaling, or taking on new opportunities. It is important that we continue to think in that direction. How do I get out of this situation that I am in? And then the fourth and critical thing you need is resilience. You have to be resilient. Let's be real. Climbing out of being broke is not easy. There will be setbacks. There will be moments where you doubt if you can actually be rich or wealthy. But every time you want to give up, remind yourself why you started. For me, it is about creating a life where I didn't have to live, in fear of meeting my financial needs. It's about taking control of my time. It's about doing the things that I want, doing the things that I enjoy with my family. It's about not being in debt. It's about taking control of my time. And trust me, today I'm not where I want to be yet, but I am far from where I started. And if you are in that place where money feels like a constant struggle, I want you to know you're not alone. A lot of people are that. You can rise above this. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take patience. And it's going to take faith in yourself, but it is possible. Don't lose hope. Start small. Focus on what you can control. And remember that your current situation doesn't define your future. You have the power to change your story, just like I did. If this resonated with you, you would also like my video on how you can build wealth, even with a regular job. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you in the next video.